The question of how it is that fans should behave when it comes to cheering or booing Indian players, and I'm talking specifically about Indian fans here, has become a hot topic thanks in no small part to the treatment that Hardik Pandya has been getting ever since he's returned to the Mumbai Indians as their captain. Now, obviously, there's no way to tell fans what it is they should and should not do, but booing Indian players are extremely rare occurrences. Now, note that I say rare occurrences because, amazing as it may seem, it has happened in the past before, and interestingly enough, Pandya is not even the first player to be booed by an IPL, let's say home or away side. And in fact, it gets even better. He's not going to be potentially one of the first players to get it from his own home crowds. That too has happened in the past. Now, it's interesting, but as I said, rare as an occurrence it might be, it has happened before. So in this video, we're going to talk us through some of the rare instances where you've seen Indian players get booed by Indian fans. And we'd start off with some of the most recent incidents and then go, backwards in that regard. And the most recent incident prior to the whole Pandya issue involved this man, Virat Kohli, all the way back in 2013. And incidentally, the fan base that he was copying it from were Mumbai Indians fans. Now, of course, this particular incident happened when Kohli, who was at that point leading the Royal Challengers Bangalore, affected a run-out of Ambati Rayudu, who at that point was a MI player. Now, the problem wasn't so much that he had affected the run-out from a direct hit, but the fact that when Rayudu was running, he had collided with the bowler R. Vinay Kumar and therefore couldn't properly make it back to his ground. Now, most people were expecting that Kohli would withdraw the appeal, but he didn't. And thereafter, all hell broke loose at the Wankhede Stadium because Kohli was subjected to plenty of jeers, and in fact, even addressed it in the post-match press conference saying that, listen, I don't come here to be abused or booed by players or by fans. I don't think that, you should be treating your Indian players this way, because whilst it's fun to actually be supporting your team, you have to remember that at the end of the day, you're playing for India first and your IPL players second. And this is in fact a common recurring theme that a lot of people have mentioned, because as you'll see, even in the second instance, it was a similar defense that was used. And the second instance was Yuvraj Singh in 2008. Yes, the inaugural season of the IPL, at a time when fan loyalties were nowhere near as staunch as perhaps what they are now. Yuvraj Singh found himself at the wrong end of, let's say, the Mumbai Indians fans at, once again, you guessed it, the Wankhede Stadium. That was the year when the Kings 11 Punjab, as they were known back then, ended up registering a thrilling one-run victory over MI, and Yuvraj Singh made sure to celebrate the win very, very wildly, something that did not go down well with the Mumbai faithful, who made sure to let him know about it. He too afterwards addressed it saying, listen, I know you're booing, but some of these Punjab boys here, they're playing for India, so maybe relax a bit. But if anything, it was a sign of things to come, because prior to that, Indian players were used to enjoying almost godlike adulation wherever it is that they went. It was rare to see them booed by their own fans, at least when it came to a club sort of a situation. Not saying it hadn't happened, but some of the instances here will show you it did happen, but very, very rarely in international circumstances. And the third example that we're going to talk about also involves not only the Wankhede Stadium in Mumbai, but also one of Mumbai's most famous sons, if not their most famous son ever, Sachin Tendulkar. Yes, you heard that right. Sachin Tendulkar, all the way back in 2006, ended up getting booed aplenty by, get this, his own Mumbai fans. Now, the reason for this was because he'd had a bit of a trepidatious start in what was a deciding test match in a series against England. He'd started off very poorly, had only gotten one run of 20 balls, was looking very, very scratchy, and then was ended up dismissed by, back then, a young James Anderson. Yes, the same James Anderson who's still going strong in 2024. In 2006, kind of at the start of his career, got rid of Tendulkar, and the Wankhede Stadium, you could hear pockets of fans booing Sachin Tendulkar. Again, something that when you say just doesn't seem real, but believe you me, it happened. And it was even acknowledged on commentary by Michael Atherton, who said that Tendulkar is getting booed at the Wankhede. I never thought I would see that happen. With you on that, Athers, no one expected to see that happen, but yet it did. Tendulkar was booed by his own home fans. And incidentally, if you're talking about legendary Indian players of that particular era, Sachin wasn't the only one to cop it from his own Indian fans. Another one who did was Rahul Dravid. Now, I'm sure you can guess when exactly this particular incident happens. It was in 2005. It was an ODI game taking place against South Africa, and it was taking place in Kolkata. And the Kolkata fans gave the Indian team hell. If you're wondering why exactly that was the case, well, because this came in the midst of the Ganguly, Chappell, Dravid fallout. At that point, Ganguly had not only been removed from the captaincy of the Indian team, he'd also been dropped from the side, something that outraged the Kolkata fans. And did they make sure to let the players know it? Dravid was booed mercilessly when he came out to bat. There were cheers when he got out. And what's worse is that the Eden Garden fans, knowledgeable and passionate as they are, made sure to let the team know what it is they thought about their prospects. They even said stuff like, they were booing Dravid, they were booing Chappell, they were demanding that they get sacked. There was plenty going on, and Dravid later joked saying he was glad he wasn't fielding near the boundary ropes because he heard that some of the Indian players had copped it even worse throughout the game. Definitely one of those low points of Indian cricket, and something that, should be told, Indian cricket took a little bit of time to recover from. But as you'll see in the next edition, not one of the first times that an absolute legend of the Indian game gets it from the Kolkata faithful. Because example number 5, Sunil Gavaskar, all the way back in 1984, and yes, it did happen. Sunny G, a man who you would argue was the first true GOAT or greatest of all time of Indian cricket before a Sachin Tendulkar. Yes, he too got booed, and he got booed at the Wankhede Stadium. Now, at Eden Garden Stadium, beg pardon. Now, there's a little bit of context here, which is also important. Gavaskar at that point was kind of struggling for form, and one of the other reasons that the Eden Gardens crowd were not very happy is because for the second test, which was against the England side in 1984, the Gavaskar and the team selectors had taken the decision to drop Kapil Dev from the team. So that was something that the Kolkata fans were not very happy with, and they made sure to let Gavaskar know he was booed. He was in fact told by the police to declare the innings early on because there was a risk of a riot-like situation taking place. And what's worse, Gavaskar, when he was going out to the ground, was pelted with rubbish as well as rotten fruits. Later on, he pledged never to return to the Eden Gardens again for a match, and actually stayed true to his word, because 2 years later in '86, they were playing another test match in Eden Gardens, and Gavaskar withdrew himself from the test. So it definitely left a sour taste in the legend's mouth, which is really funny when you consider that prior to that, early on in his career, he had a really good relationship with the fans at the Eden Gardens, and in fact had gone out of his way multiple times to praise them. But such is the nature of the beast. Sometimes you just have to take it in the chin and move forward. And again, that doesn't matter if you're just a nobody of a player or a legend as big as Sunil Gavaskar. So that's it. That is our list. These are players who, before Hardik Pandya, have been booed by their own fans. We hope you enjoyed this list, and if you did, you can let us know in the comments below and tell me if you remember some other incidents or some other instances when an Indian player got it from their own home fans. Let me know that in the comments, and don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends, subscribe to the channel, tap that bell icon as well. Follow us on social media. We're on Instagram, Twitter and Facebook. Don't forget to download the Sports app, and if you're already on the channel, go ahead, check out some other videos we've posted as well. For now though, from my side, it's goodbye.